All you gotta do is just speak. One word is enough, and I'm no longer so rough. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know what set me if it could flee. Me have to take away myself. Me have to take away myself. Me have to hide like a thief in the night. Me have to get out of sight. Me have to take away myself. Have to take away myself. I have to utilize I wings. Show the eye clean where I is. I said, yeah, I find you very hard to resist. But this relationship I'm gonna desist. But how can I face you when all I wanna do is just taste you? I know you think I play me, I play you, but soon you're gonna see the light of day. Just relax, don't move an inch. I'll be gone in a pinch. May I feel take away myself. May I feel take away myself. May I feel hide like a thief in the night. May I forget out of sight. May I feel take away myself. Take away myself. I have to utilize I will. Show the eye a clean berries. I say, yeah.
Greetings, kings and queens. Welcome to another Real Stuff podcast. This is yours, Julie Franco, and I'll be linking up with Flavius in a few minutes. So I want to thank all of you who are here with us each and every day, Monday to Friday. I want to big you up for another Monday. Yes, they call it the Monday Blues. I hope you're not in no bluesy mood, because we have a good program for you this morning. So sit back, relax, and enjoy your favorite tea, drinks, whatever you drink in the early morning. And we promise it's going to be a fulfilling day.
Well, this one is a bombshell.
I wish that you were the man in my life. I would like to take you to my home to be with me forever. I really love you, baby. Really love you, baby. Want you forever. Really love you, baby. Really want you, baby. I wish that you were the man in my life. I would like to take you to my home to be with me forever. I really love you, baby. Really love you, baby. Want you forever. Really love you, baby. Really want you, baby. Love I will give you is so powerful, so special. Under your skin it will flow through your veins. My love's insane. This love I give, I just can't stop. I just can't stop. It's in your face, even when you turn your back. you, baby. Really want you, baby. Whoa, whoa. Ooh, forever and ever. Yeah, yeah. I know you're wondering why my love is so strong. It's 'cause I see something in you pushing me on. The day you try to chase my love away is when you know my love was meant to stay. 'Cause this love I give, I just can't stop. It's in your face, oh yeah. When you turn your back, I wish that you were the man in my life. I would like to take you home with me forever. Oh, really want you, baby. Really love you, baby. Want you forever. Ever. Really want you, baby. Really want you, baby. Love I will give you is so powerful, special. Under your skin it will.
And we're back with Flavius. Morning, Flavius. How you doing?
Morning, Franco. Morning, listeners. Morning, viewers. How you all doing?
Well, I'm doing good.
Okay.
I'm doing good. What's
What's the
happening?
name of the game today?
What's happening? You sound a little bit off in your audio this morning. What's happening?
I don't know. I'm all right.
Okay. No, that's the sound more like you're down into a room.
No,
Okay.
I am safe, but sometimes, what has been happening, we have been a lot of rain since yesterday. All night last night, it just heats up now.
Likewise in Florida, sir. It's good for the Caribbean and the coast for now.
Well, hopefully, because what really happens is that I'm hearing that Laura is passing by closely above us. So we're getting some out of that.
We don't need it, man. Jamaica needs some rain right now.
Thunderstorm and all that stuff,
Yeah, the rain is needed. Soften up the place a little bit and thing.
Yeah, man. It's always good.
The farmers them feel happy.
Because when I have rain, I know that I have water.
And the farmers them will be happy.
Yeah, man, of course.
So
the
that's
farmers need water, yeah.
So
Yeah, man,
what's in your cup this morning?
Oh, we are back to Blue Mountain.
Oh, back to the Blue Mountain.
Yeah, back to the Blue Mountain. Yeah.
That's good.
Probably we don't have any fruits this morning, but I'm hoping that tomorrow we can probably get some. Mango is coming in now.
Oh, mango. But you usually have mango. You usually have mango starting from about when? From about June, July, right back. Some people might blossom early, so them start be early as well.
So we have mangoes coming up now.
And you have
Black
apples.
mango
And you have apples too, right? Don't you have your apple tree?
Yeah, but no apple yet. But
Wow.
the black mango tree now that is just starting to ripe now. I guess I get some today.
So the
lunch.
apple tree late.
I don't know if it's late, but it has its time. It comes a few times a year,
Because I remember last year we have apple from June, man. I was eating apple last year.
Yeah, but it comes as popular. And then it comes back. So that's different ways, different things, yeah.
Yeah. So them going, the nature, Mother Nature, she know when to do her thing,
Yeah, man.
So what we're gonna do this morning? We're going straight into your did you know?
Okay, yeah, man, you can do that.
All right. Tell me when you're ready. Tell me when you're ready for your did you know.
Ready, ready. You are ready?
All right. Each and every
Oh,
morning, right here on the Real Stuff podcast. Did you know? Brought to you courtesy of Slowly Jamaica, your event planner in the Caribbean. Take it away, Flavius.
yeah, good morning, listeners, good morning, viewers. Today we're going to start a new segment of Did You Know? We're going to start something that we call Uniquely Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to speak about the things that make us the Caribbean, things that, that are nowhere else in the world. Like we have events that, is completely Caribbean branded. We have birds and flowers and plants, all different things, people, language that are uniquely Caribbean. When you speak about them, people know that you are from the Caribbean because these are Caribbean stuff. But to start us off, and this can go for a few weeks, I imagine, I'm going to speak about 10 facts about the Caribbean region in that light. And then tomorrow, we're going to individual things, Like, did you know that the smallest bird in the world is from the Caribbean? Things like that. So, let me go now. Okay, we got number one, origin of Caribbean name. One of the main facts about Caribbean region is that it is called the Caribbean as when Christopher Columbus and his men were exploring the area during their second voyage, they stumbled upon a native tribe who resisted them, and so they deemed them aggressive and also falsely accused them of being cannibal. Columbus called this native tribe Carib, and over the years the name for the region evolved to be the Caribbean. Interestingly, when Columbus first arrived in the Caribbean, he thought they had reached India, and so named the first inhabitants he met Indians. It wasn't until his third voyage to the region that he realized he was nowhere near India. Known as the first land of the Caribbean region Columbus saw and visited on the 12th of October 1492, he named San Salvador Island, now part of the Bahamas. The island San Salvador was originally named Guanahani by the native European inhabitants. To commemorate this first landing by Christopher Columbus, there is a simple white cross on Long Bay Beach in San Salvador, the Bahamas, and that should be in our slideshow this morning. The big white cross. 2. Caribbean geography. The Caribbean region is located southeast of the Gulf of Mexico and the North American mainland, and measures around 1,000 miles from north to south, and over 250 miles from east to west. This 1,000 miles jump at me, because I remember while in Canada, there's a river, the St. Lawrence River, a massive river that runs 1,000 miles from the Gaspé Peninsula to Montreal. 1,000 miles. It's a huge river in a huge country. And the entire Caribbean is 1,000 miles from north to south. There's a diverse topography, including coral reefs, mountains, tropical forests, low-lying plantations, valleys, waterfalls, and volcanoes. Only about 2% of the Caribbean region is inhabited. And so when most speak of the Caribbean region, they are referring to about 32 countries. Their size range from 40,852 square miles for Cuba all the way down to 5 square miles for the island of Saba. Interestingly, Saba has the shortest commercial airline runway. Listen to this. Saba has the shortest commercial airline runway in the world at only 1,312 feet long, with one side flanked by high hills and with cliffs that drop into the sea at both ends. So not for the faint-hearted. Imagine those pilots taking off and landing there. There are four main island groups in the Caribbean region, including the Greater Antilles, Leeward Islands, Leeward Antilles, and Windward Islands. The Greater Antilles include Cayman, Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Jamaica, and Puerto Rico. The Leeward Islands include Anguilla, Antigua Barbuda, which is Virgin Islands, Guadeloupe, Montserrat, St. Martin, Saba, St. Eustatius, St. Bartholomew, St. Kitts Nevis, and U.S. Virgin Islands. The Leeward Antilles include Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire, the ABC Islands. And the Windward Islands include Barbados, Dominica, Grenada, with sister islands Curacao and Petit Martinique, Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Trinidad and Tobago. Note that the Leeward Islands, Leeward Antilles, and the Windward Islands combine to create the Lesser Antilles. Also beyond the grouping, there's also the Lucayan Archipelago, known as the Bahamas Archipelago, comprising the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Islands. Beyond Caribbean geography, another of the main facts about the Caribbean is that beyond the islands in and surrounding the Caribbean Sea, there are other countries which are also associated with the Caribbean region, mainly due to their culture, economic, and political history. This includes the island of Bermuda, located in the North Atlantic Ocean, a mere 665 miles from the state of North Carolina in the United States. And Belize, also located on the North American continent. Finally, Guyana, Suriname, and Venezuela, three independent countries on South America's North Atlantic coast. So these are on the mainland. They are not islands. They are countries on the mainland. Guyana, Suriname, and Venezuela. So they seem to be part of us in the Caribbean. All five are members of CARICOM, which was established in 1972 to promote economic integration and cooperation between member states. Belize, Guyana, and Venezuela are also currently members of the Caribbean Tourism Organization, the official body promoting tourism in the Caribbean. Let's move to independent versus dependent rule. We spoke quite a bit about that in the past 2 weeks. Except for which has one party political system, all other Caribbean countries now have two or more political parties, and their ways of governing can be traced back to their colonial roots. Some are independent democracies like Haiti, which became the first black republic in the world. So Haiti became the first black republic in the world and the first country in the Western Hemisphere to abolish slavery after breaking free from France on January 1st, 1804. Others are still independent territories of France, Netherlands, United States, and United Kingdom. The breakdown of independent Caribbean countries and the years obtained. Independence from France, Haiti, 1804. Independence from Haiti, Dominican Republic. So Dominican was part of Haiti, 1844. Independence from Spain, Cuba, 1902. Independence from United Kingdom, Antigua, Barbuda, the Bahamas, Barbados, Belize, Dominica, Grenada, Guyana, Haiti, Jamaica, St. Kitts, Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and Grenadines, Suriname, Trinidad and Tobago. I didn't tell you the year, but let's go through it again. Antigua, Barbuda, 1981. Bahamas, 1973. Barbados, 1966. Belize, 1981. Dominica, 1978. Grenada, 1974. Guyana, 1966. Haiti, 1804. Jamaica, 1962. St. Kitts, Nevis, 1983. St. Lucia, 1979. St. Vincent and Grenadines, 1979. Suriname, 1975. And Trinidad and Tobago, 1962. Breakdown for dependent Caribbean countries include dependent on France, Guadeloupe, Martinique, Saint Barthélemy or Saint Barth, Saint Martin. Dependent on the Netherlands, this is Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao, Saint Martin, Saba, and Saint Eustatius. Dependent on the United States, Puerto Rico, United States Virgin Islands. Dependent on the United Kingdom, Anguilla, Bermuda, British Virgin Islands, Cayman Islands, Montserrat, and Turks and Caicos Islands. Caribbean population. Another major fact about the Caribbean region is that over 42 million people live in 30 mainlands. Many in large islands like Cuba with 11.4 million, Haiti with 10.8 million, and the Dominican Republic with 10.6 million. Jamaica with 2.8 million, Trinidad with 1.3 million. At the opposite end in St. Martin with 31,500. The British Virgin Islands with 30,600. Anguilla with nearly 15,000. St. Barth with 7,200. And Montserrat with just 5,200 people. That's after the eruption of this Soufrière Hill volcano. Who was left, a lot of who was left, actually left the country. And a few people decided they would stay. Caribbean ethnicity and culture. Each early inhabitants of the Caribbean region were from the South American continent more than 7,000 years ago and were members of the Mayan, Taino, and Alinago tribes who settled on the various islands throughout the Caribbean region. When the Europeans started colonizing the Caribbean region, beginning in 1492 with Christopher Columbus from Spain, the indigenous population was disseminated by disease and war. Not really true, and not all of them, as we have been proving over the past few years. But we were taught in school the same thing, especially the Taínos in Jamaica and the Arawaks, that they were totally disseminated. We're all killed off, but we have found that that is not so. A lot of Taínos are still living in Jamaica and around the world. But that is not true. And of course, the Caribs that and the Africans and the Californians living in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and now in Belize and Honduras. So they're still alive. So this is not true. As Europeans build profitable cotton, tobacco, and later sugar plantation, over 5 million West African slaves were brought to the Caribbean region as unpaid laborers, as slaves. And today, the majority of the 4.2 million people who live in the Caribbean region are descendants of these 5 million. The 5 million turns into 42 million, and multiply that by 3 and add it to it. A lot of people. And why I did that is because of how many people are in the diaspora from the Caribbean. Now you will also find other ethnicities in the Caribbean, including Asian, Indians, Chinese, Syrian, Lebanese, Jews, Portuguese, Europeans, Amerindians, and various mixed and combination which make the culture and tradition quite diverse. For example, in Trinidad, based on last census, descendants of West African slaves are 36% of the population, and Hindu Indians are 37.6% of the population. So pretty much even Stevens there. Trinidadians are descendants of Hindu Trinidadians are descendants of indentured workers from India who were brought over after slavery was abolished. That said, while the majority of the region inhabitants are descendants from West African slaves, this long history of colonization from European powers, including the Spanish, English, French, and Dutch, have resulted in a diverse culture across the region. Sure, there are similarities, but each country has its own tradition and rich history worthy of exploration. Number 7, Caribbean or West Indies. Are we Caribbean or are we West Indies? You will sometimes hear the Caribbean region being referred to as West Indies. This term was first issued by Christopher Columbus and referred to the islands which he claimed for Spanish crown. Remember, he thought he had arrived in India, and so he named the islands grouping the West Indies to distinguish from the East Indies. The West Indies term was later adopted by other European colonizers, and so some Caribbean countries are referred to as being former members of the British, French, Dutch, or Danish West Indies. The term is mostly now used in sports with the West Indies cricket team, which is now called Cricket West Indies, which is a multinational cricket team representing the Caribbean region. Beyond cricket, which is a legacy of British colonization and known as the Englishman game, the other major sport in the Caribbean is football. Sadly, no Caribbean football team has won the World Cup. Languages spoken in Caribbean. The majority of the 42 million people who live in the Caribbean speak English, as much of the region was colonized by the British. In total, there are 6 main languages used in the Caribbean region, and some islands like Puerto Rico and Haiti have more than one official language. English is official language of Anguilla, Antigua Barbuda, Bahamas, Barbados, British Virgin Islands, Cayman Islands, Dominica, Grenada, Jamaica, Montserrat, Puerto Rico, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Martin, St. Vincent and Grenadines, Trinidad and Tobago, Turks and Caicos, and the United States Virgin Islands. Spanish is the official language of Cuba, Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico. So Puerto Rico has Spanish and English as official languages. French is the official language of Guadeloupe, Haiti, Martinique, Saint Barth, French Guyana, and Saint Martin. Haitian Creole is also an official language of Haiti. So Haiti have French and Haitian Creole. You know Franco
Yeah,
and
man. Yeah,
Jamaica,
yeah.
Jamaica keep talking about making patois official language, but we just language there. We're not going anywhere with that. But it's in the cabin already. Haiti has their patois as an official language, their Creole. Which is the official language of Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao, Saba, Saint Status, and Saint Martin, and Suriname. Supplemental of Portuguese and Spanish, these Creole languages also an official language of Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. Beyond these six languages, you'll also find on many of the Caribbean islands a version of Creole and local patois, local English being spoken. Biodiversity of the Caribbean region. The plant and animal life in the Caribbean region is quite diverse. There are tons of beautiful flowers and wildlife, including rare birds throughout the Caribbean region. In fact, there are over 500 species of birds, including 172 species that are found nowhere else in the world. So we have 172 species of birds that can only be found in the Caribbean. Also, there are about 189 different species of amphibians, 497 species of reptiles, and 164 mammals that live in the Caribbean region. Plus, there are lots of coral reefs, including the American Barrier Reef, which is the largest marine habitat in the Caribbean. It has hundreds of fish species, marine turtles, and sharks, including more than 65 species of stone coral, 350 species of mollusk, and more than 500 species of fish. And so diverse the Caribbean is. Okay, I will come to number 10 because we're going to 10, so we'll come to number 10. A big item topic, Caribbean tourism. Finally, one of the major facts about the Caribbean region is that tourism is one of the leading, if not the leading sector on most Caribbean islands, contributing over 56 million US dollars to the region GDP, which represents 14.9%. It's important to have visitors return to the region, not just for the sun, sand, and sea, which is our primary appeal, but so much more. The region rich history, biodiversity, cultural attractions, and events afford visitors who explore a rich and rewarding experience. These include an expanding list of approved and pending UNESCO World Heritage Sites, music festivals like the St. Kitts Musical Festival that has been growing strong for 21 years, food festivals like the Grenada Chocolate Festival, masquerade dance, a Caribbean culture treasure created over 300 years ago, hundreds of museums and other historic sites across the region, hundreds of rare birds and beautiful flora along hiking trails. Sporting events you can participate in. 25 marathons and half marathons and 27 triathlons. Seeing wildlife close up and even participating in unique experiences like swimming with the pigs in the Bahamas, enjoying delicious food, and of course, Caribbean rum. Those are the few reasons to visit the Caribbean region, with 75% of the destinations currently open for business. They're not in COVID. We're just trying to get back to COVID. So, to give you a good overview of what the Caribbean is. Tomorrow, we're going to delve into, drill down into different islands with different unique uniquely Caribbean events, birds, food, all these things we will speak about for the next few weeks. Thank you very much.
Okay, so in case you didn't know, now you know. Or did you know was brought to you courtesy of Slowly Jamaica. We're gonna be linking up with Teddy Laidley.
Ever refuse it? Pulsating, vibrating, reggae, reggae, reggae. Very sky, rock, steady, mental. A quadrillion, a kumina, kumina, kumina. You can fill your belly with the coconut jelly, mango, papa, cane and guinea. There's a key in a saltfish and a roast yam and banana. Curried goat and a managed water. The Sunday special if you like a revival. Catholic, Baptist or Pentecostal. The house of Jah is there, have no fear. Walk right in and get your share. I'm walking on sand. I'm holding your hand. Feel like a tourist in my own.
Each and every Monday morning, really current news from the man himself, Mr. Teddy Laidley. Morning, Teddy.
Hey, top of the morning to you and your listeners across the world, wherever they're listening in.
Top of the morning to you, sir, as well.
Yeah.
Morning, Teddy.
Yeah, morning flavors. Well, hello, how is the weather affecting both of you?
Well, for me, the rain just stopped, you know. For Flavius, I don't know what Flavius experiencing now, but mine, it just finished.
Just stopped this morning. We had rain all day yesterday and all night last night. So it just stopped now.
Well, let us hope that some of the residue from the rain, which we call rain go into the catchment area, and so again, we won't have any lockout because we had a lockout last night, no water, but the water restored this morning.
Mm-hmm.
But let us look at what is happening right now in Jamaica. I don't know, election is in the air, slated for September 3rd, and also the shifting of the reopening of school from September 7th to October 5th.
Wow.
But more importantly, one of the things that I like to just focus on in terms of persons putting up their self for representation, representing us in politics.
Mm-hmm.
One of the interesting thing is that the Integrity Commission that was established in 2018, it somewhat replaced the Parliament Integrity Commission, and that was revised into legislation in February 2018. Now, one of the amazing thing is that there are quite a few of the candidates that have been cited by the Integrity Commission, and it is being said that the Integrity Commission should have able to flag the representative who were cited in breach of the regulation. What have happened here is that the candidates supposed to declare the asset, and there's a section 43 of the Integrity Commission Act stipulate that a person who fail without reasonable cause to submit statutory declaration or to provide additional information requested by the Director of Information and Compliance commit an offense and is liable to a summary conviction in parish court of not exceeding 500,000 or an imprisonment of not more than 6 months. Now, what is basically is saying, and let us look at it, because we're not going to spend much time in it, but there is a lot of questions have been going around in terms of the whole area of corruption and that affected both parties, and it's not a one-sided thing, both parties. And when you look at your assets, because what they're saying is, let us look at your asset. Let us look at you coming in to represent the people. So, for example, you come into power, you represent the people, and when you declare your asset, you had a house in Mona Heights, and you have a one car. And then 4 years after, you end up with a house in Jacksonville, Beverly Hills. You now have more than one car. You now have 4 cars, and you have a house on the North Coast. And the question is, how do you explain that to the taxpayers? How do you end up in a situation where within a short period of time you amass certain amount of wealth, and then you having problem clearing that when the Integrity Commission is saying, okay, fine, declare your asset and liability, and then you have problem. And this is what I am saying. You have problem to declare it, and then when you declare it, you falsify the information. You understand? Yeah. And then you're going to represent me, the John public. Right? So what I've been echoed is that the integrity, because it is found that a few members of both parties was found guilty recently, and they paid a fine, and even one minister was one member of parliament was adamant that he's not going to pay because he declared, and in his case, what ended up happening was the Integrity Commission asked him to, with regards to his wife, and overseas account that she has, and they wanted a copy of it, and he was saying that his wife would have to go up and get it and come back down, because the bank overseas doesn't just give out information like that to any and everybody. Now, you know, the sad thing about it is that the taxpayers and the electorate are not concerned about those things. All persons who represent them, you know, come in and within a short piece of time amass certain wealth.
True.
And then you ask, you know, does this also help to fuel the corruption that have been taking place over the years? So the question is that should the Integrity Commission then flag or block persons who did not file their declaration or who were in breach of their declaration and were fined by the judicial court? And so if you are fined by the court for not declaring your assets and liability, then you should not put up yourself for representation or politics. True. Or if you breach of it, then you can't go further.
True.
Because it's just like, for example, how I look at it. if you are charged for a criminal offense, then you cannot put up yourself
For
for
election.
legal
For
for election
representation,
because
yeah.
it's just like, for example, if you're going up for to be a justice of the peace, you're not supposed to have a criminal record because what it is saying that you're a person of integrity.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing should have gone for in terms of parliament. So if you are in breach of your statutory declaration and you are fined by the court, why is it that you're going to be a suitable candidate?
Mm-hmm.
Because the question has been said, if you do it once, you will do it twice again.
Sure.
So the law needs to have some teeth with regards to the statutory declaration filed by a member of parliament. And that should have been the case, that all persons who are going into for representational politics, they should do their first statutory declaration. You can't put up somebody and then when the person amass certain wealth, you're going to say, oh, declare where you come from.
Mm-hmm.
So I can easily well say I had it before.
Yeah, that's true.
You understand? They should have then declared that. So all candidates who are putting themselves up for representation politics should have a clear declaration, statutory declaration. So therefore, you watch their growth within it. And as Bobby's Pickersgill said in an interview recently, that when he did know, because he was part of a law firm when he went up to represent persons, when he went in representation of politics, and he said he didn't know the salary because he was, still getting his money from his law firm.
Okay.
And when he found out what the salary was, it was a joke. And he said it publicly. He said, you can't go into politics as a poor man because that will, encourage you to get involved. When you have nothing and you're going there, you're going to be tempted to take. And which is a sad thing, but which is true.
Yeah.
Because
Teddy,
yeah.
How do you see a politician that is part of the government? Government mean that he is a minister of government, and was asked to leave the job under a cloud, and is now still putting up himself to represent the people.
Then that's what I'm saying. This form part of the whole statutory declaration, because if you're being asked to step aside, because the unfortunate thing about it, is that once you're part of the cabinet, then the prime minister is in a position to dismiss you. But as a member of parliament, you are selected by the people. And so therefore the representation of the People's Act, all of that need to be straightened out. Those are some of the laws that need to be changed. Because just as you mentioned, if you end up in a situation whereas you, because of your performance or your behavior or any allegation against you, right, and you are asked to step aside, then automatically it should be that your seat automatically you should have lost a seat, because then it compromised everything. It means if you compromise your ministerial position, then your representational position should be compromised also.
Okay. So let me ask you something, Teddy. So Bobby Pickersgill is saying that if you're a poor man, you cannot enter into politics because you might be tempted.
No, it's not that he said that if you're a poor man, you can't represent. But just let us put the cards on the table. If you have no wealth and you come on, let us look at the cards years ago. A lot of politicians, the earlier politicians, and let us say that it's not that they weren't involved in corruption, because it goes way back. There were several politicians who were arrested in the 50s and 60s for misappropriation of funds, and the record is there. But let us look at it. Many of the earlier politicians were putting country before party or putting country before self.
Yeah.
Because they have an attitude of servitude. So they wanted to serve, they want to see their country develop and progress.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, you know what I mean, there are persons today who are putting the party first before putting country. Right? And many of persons are looking at it as an easy way out, because let's take, for example, whether you're a counselor or whether you're a politician, there's a guaranteed pension for you, because what was used to happen in the past is that a lot of politicians, after they serve the country. Yeah. Many of them are left in destitute. Many of them, and they were noted politicians who have served the country under previous administration or present administration. And when they died or when they reached retirement, they were in destitute situation. Many of them, I just said, they have to hold saucer to bury them. So they themselves now today have changed all of that and said, once you serve as 2 terms within the parliament, I think, for example, I can't be quoted, but as a councillor, if you serve 4 terms or 2 or 3 terms, something like that, then you get pension for life. And the same thing with the member of parliament. Yeah. Because what they're saying is that here it is, you end up as one of the highest office in the land. And then at the end of it, after you serve your country in terms of trying to help to change legislation and policies within the country, and then when you come out, you end up in a situation where you can't take care of your family. So they have put that in place. And the same thing as Prime Minister. When PJ Patterson was in office, he changed the legislation for former Prime Minister and President, meaning whatever salary the present Prime Minister is now receiving, all former Prime Minister receive that. Well, and so therefore, it's just like the presidency. You don't have to go out and look a job, because you're not getting a decent salary, a decent pension, should I say?
Honestly, I only think that should have stand for prime ministers. No councillor, no member of parliament should have no pension for life. Because it's like we have built career politicians, and that's not what we should have. Is people that serve country. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. You see,
no, but one of the things that you have to look at is a double-edged sword. And like I mentioned to you before, there were persons who served the country and then left in destitute. That's the point. That's what came out of that. The person who served, because remember, sitting in parliament is one of the highest position in the land. And so here it is, you have sit there for whether it's 2 term, 3 term as a member of parliament, a member of the legislative body of your country, and then after that you end up being in destitute position. So that's one of the reasons why they have come up with this, to say as long as you serve your country, then you have to prepare. Because remember, here what have happened, and let us look at it positionally. Many of the persons who have served are elder person. It's very few persons like Siago and I think like Andrew Holness, who started politics in their 20s, because I think Siago started at 29, and I think Andrew Holness started out around that same age, within the serving of involved in politics. Now, most other persons are in their 40s or their 50s, or close to 60 to go into that. Now, if you look at it, there are quite a few of our politicians right now who are in the House who are past the age. If they were in private sector, they would have to retire.
They should have retired just like teachers and civil servants.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If you're saying that they should have then retired as civil servants, then just like civil servants, you are paid a pension for life. Right? So therefore, there wouldn't be room for Mike Henry, who is the oldest member of parliament now. Then you'd have the Pernell Charles, then you wouldn't have the other members. So therefore, it would have give way for these persons to at least open the door for younger, vibrant, people to come in.
Which I agree with that. Then we need young people.
Right. So what we need to do is for them to change the legislation to say, well, here what happened. Once you come in and you serve your country after 2 terms, then you get pension for life. So at least you become a mentor to help guide the new bright ideas to come in. Because a lot of them shouldn't be there today. Because they were in private sector, they would have to
we need to have term limits now. I don't care how good our MP you is. You should have term limits. So others can come and serve and just serve. Give them the pension. And if somebody cares, because
what happened is that complacency setting. You have a public speakers who have been there for six terms. You have numerous member of parliament who are there for 3 and 4 terms and going. Like for example, Julian Robinson, who is the General Secretary of the People's National Party now, he has a bit of challenge because one of his councillors who crossed the floor, Kerry Douglas, who her father was the Member of Parliament for Southwestern St. Andrew. No, this is a seat now Eastern Douglas, who is now being represented. Now, the question is that she crossed the floor and now representing the current JLP. Now, although you were saying that you don't see it as a challenge, this was one of your councillors. This person was one of your father, and plus the seat that he's now in was held by our father. So, he had a little bit of challenge, and he might say, oh, it's nothing, but you can't, because that person had an insight on your strategies that you have worked over the year within the 2 terms that you are a member of parliament.
True.
And she have learned a lot from her father over the years.
And he would have been training her.
There you go. You go. And there's certain seat that either party have candidate we call lamb to the slaughter. And let us look at it. One of the seats everybody know that is openly cannot be challenged is a Western Kingston seat that is being held by the current Desmond McKenzie. The PMP put up a lamb to the slaughter because there's no way. The JLP, I should say, the JLP put up a lamb to the slaughter because there's no way anybody's going to unseat Desmond McKenzie. The same thing with Angela Brown-Burke.
Beside it, the one right beside it.
Yeah, Angela Brown-Burke, who is the seat of the former Prime Minister Portia Simpson. Again, they put up a lamb to the slaughter because there's no way Brown-Burke is going to lose that seat. For five, this is the 6th time Patrick Roberts is going up against Holness. And he's not going to win against Holness, who is the current Prime Minister, because first of all, he don't have the capital. When you're a Prime Minister, you have the capital.
So there are certain seats that can't be touched.
Yeah, because when you look at it, is like the opposing side, and it goes for both sides, you know.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
for both sides. There are certain seats for both sides can't be touched.
yeah.
Teddy, the Prime Minister said in by 300,000 masks to give away.
Yes. Yeah. No, he can do that. It's just like, for
That's what I'm
example, the
saying.
Minister of Finance. The Minister of Finance is in northwestern Jamaica, which is the constituency in which I live. Right? And I can tell you, you see the result of what he has been doing. He's a finance minister. Right? And so the road restoration, one of the things that a lot of member of parliament are saying against the ministers, and that is reality. When you don't have water in your area, you now have to make sure that you are in good standing with the minister under which that portfolio goes. So, because you can get things done. The same thing. What Bruce Golden have said years ago, when he formed the NDM, he said the legislator should be different from, and which makes sense, is that the persons who run the company, the cabinet ministers, should not have been representational ministers. It should have been totally different persons where you can fire and hire people in terms of dealing with the legislation and the business of the country.
True.
It's just like any corporation. The board of directors are different from the management structure because the management structure report to the board of directors, and directors are not the people who run the company. They get competent people to run the company, and it should be the same way. Where the member of parliament should appoint, or to whatever medium should appoint the people to run the country. Just like, for example, people think in this country that automatically the member who is the leader of the party automatically will become the prime minister, which is not true. Because there was a case when Bruce Golding was the leader of the Jamaica Labour Party and Ken Barr was the leader of the opposition. And so he did not have a seat. Bruce Golding did not have a seat in the parliament. He was the leader for the Jamaica Labour Party, but he did not have a seat in the parliament. And so therefore, this is what we want to tell people. So people assume that because Peter Phillip is the leader of the current opposition, automatically, if he wins the next election, he will become the prime minister, which is not true. Because the prime ministership could then come from the collective representation of the member of parliament.
But how often has it been like that?
No, that's what I'm saying to you. It's so traditional that people think that's the way it ought to be, but it's not. That's not the case.
But Franco, in the 60s, it was like that in the 60s. When Dr. Manjo was the head of the JLP and had given up the prime ministership.
So that it
But the law says, Franco, the law says.
I know what the law said, and I'm just saying, how often as a leader of a party has given the prime ministership to somebody else, so maybe one or twice.
Not very often.
Exactly.
No, not very often.
Okay.
But the law says the person who can command the parliamentary group will be the prime minister. So if you're the leader and the parliamentary group, that is your party, people say, you are not the right man, them can vote for somebody else and just send it to the governor general. So it works theoretically, it works that way.
But we haven't seen it in modern time.
No, but recently
exactly.
it was rumored, Franco, recently it was rumored that 13 members of the current opposition have penned a letter to be taken to the Governor General to say that there was a no confidence vote with the current leader of the opposition. And so at that point, they could have then selected the person to lead the opposition. That doesn't necessarily mean that that person will be if they become the government, or they would have been the prime minister. You know, for example, the whole issue of this calling of election in the corona time here, because they have shown an indication of the spike within the corona. Now, the question being asked, if we had a set election date, then there wouldn't be this issue coming about. Because, for example, the election is due officially next year, February, right? And so, therefore, we would have then looked at what is happening by now until next year, February, if the curve have been flattened. Now, with this election being on the onus of the prime minister, who can call an election at a time convenient to him, then the argument have been pushed now, why are we having an election in this COVID crisis? And then there's other persons now put to the table to say Trinidad recently has theirs, St. Kitts and Nevis have theirs, and there's not an issue. But again, if we had a set election date, then we know it would have been February of next year.
Next year, I keep saying that.
The election would have been due. Right? So what it means we, the electorate, must now able to say to the party, you made a promise, because in 2016, the then Andrew Olney said the government will be looking into that. No, this is 4 years after, and this still haven't been done. Right? So what it means is that the electorate need to give the whole, both parties, accountability now on what they said, one, in their manifesto, or two, on the platform when they are talking to the electorate. And that's what happened. But it goes back to what we have said earlier. A lot of change cannot take place if the electorate is not informed, or we would have said in Jamaica, not educated about how things work. And if they were informed about how things work, and both parties are making sure that the electorate is well informed and be knowledgeable of the decision, then the both governing party, along with the opposition, would have to be held accountable and transparency. But when you have a level of ignorance permit right across the country, then they can do whatever they do, and so they are not being held accountable. So, for example, the upcoming election and with this COVID, one of the questions that Flavors asked last week is that how the ink, and they know saying that the solution to that is that before you dip your finger into the ink, your hand, after your hand have been sanitized when you enter the polling booth, and you make the X and you have dialogue with the presiding officer and so forth, before you place your finger into the ink, then that finger will be sanitized. So therefore, the contamination of the ink is 0%. Because if you sanitize the finger, if you remove any remnants of any infection from it, then the ink, that is the justification that the ink is not going to be tampered with in the sense that you don't need to change the ink. But they also said, for example, the pencil hold on, let me just make the point here, Flavor. The pencil that you have used, they now provide a box where the pencil that you use and mark will be put aside. Whether that will be sanitized or being given each person a new pencil, then that is to be said. Yeah, go ahead, Flavors.
No. regarding what you said a while ago about what I said last week, I have two questions for you. One, is there a standard way to sanitize? Does everybody sanitize the same way? Will this,
Well,
you know, will everybody,
well, put it this way.
I'll tell you, will everybody sanitize properly? And the next question is, I have been doing a little research. Is there a standard sanitizing agent? I'm yet to find one. A standard sanitizing formula. So how you know what sanitizer is being used if that is the right one that they are using? You see, there are too many ifs. There are just too many ifs. Too many ifs.
Here the situation, Flavors, and it's simple. There's a way that they're now showing on how to wash your hands properly, right? From the back to the front, between the fingers, and all of that. That's a standard thing.
Yeah.
No, the issue here is that they want to make sure that you're putting your finger into that ink, whether just that finger alone has been sanitized or the whole hand. But what they're saying is that the index finger that is going into the ink must be sanitized. That's the bottom line. So even if the whole hand is not being sanitized, the one finger, which is the index finger that you're going to do, must be sanitized. So the question is just let us give them the benefit of the doubt and see to it that what was being said being carried out.
Teddy, I am not willing to give the benefit of the doubt of my life to anybody.
Well, therefore, you have the right not to vote.
Exactly.
That is the bottom line. So if, for example, you don't feel comfortable with what being said in terms of how they carry out, but let me tell you something, Flavors, and let us look at the real thing in terms of politics. The die-hearted party supporters will be out casting their vote, you know. That will carry a party across the winning line is the armchair people like you and myself who might not, is not the people who jump up and down in the street, because the whole issue of persons who are palavering in the streets, you and I are not going out in the street. You and I are not going out, you know. No party supporter can call us and tell us to go on the bus or going up there. But what is going to happen is that there are persons who both parties are going to make sure that they pull out to carry them over the mark. So the bottom line, Flavors, whether you and I go out there, it doesn't make a difference to the party, because they know that we are not the supporters. They know that. They know it is us who make the swing vote. And they're not concerned. What they're concerned about is pulling their supporters out on that day to come. Because, for example, here it is, you are concerned about...
I want to ask you a question, Teddy. And this is about seats. Like, you know, like you'd have some interesting seats. Like, you know, those seats are those constituencies, are swing constituency. How many of them are up that you think can swing whichever party way?
Well, what is happening right now, Frank, I can tell you. Both sides of the political fence are looking at certain seats that they wish to swing, because if you look at the last election, the last election was very close, very, very. So what it means that there's a vote and a member gone to the bathroom. Then, by the time he come back, certain things might have been people and decision be made. What both parties want this time, they want a very wider gap. The last time election was, if I'm not too clear, was something like it was what? 30, 32.
32, 30.
Right.
32, 31.
So?
Right.
Okay.
You don't want that no more. You want a larger, because in that case, you can make certain changes if you stand up. But with a 32, 31 or 30, 32, that's too close. Both parties now are looking to certain seats that they want to upset, right? To give them a wider margin. Because if you have a wider margin of, say, for example, 10, then it put you in a better position. But you don't have not much when you have only 2 or 3.
A lot of parliamentary decision is based on 2/3 majority.
So Teddy, so I'm saying, have you seen any seats, constituency, then put it away, that you think can swing?
That's what I'm saying to you. Both parties are looking. For example, Crystal Tomlin, the president of the PNP, YO, she's Juliet Cockburg, former Olympian, who in the St. Andrew, I think St. Andrew, I can't remember whatever, but up in the hill, that served by Lawrence Tavern.
That seat can swing, right? That seat can swing.
That seat can swing because Crystal is going really tooth and nail after her.
Okay.
There's certain that for example, Bujo's daughter
is going after it. What?
Yeah, she's going after
all that.
Yeah, she's going after the seat with Peter Phillips. No, that is too tight.
That's too tight.
That is too tight. And the thing about it, she's not humble and she's behaving in an arrogant manner. And here, the unfortunate thing about it, a lot of young persons are coming in. We don't mind, but you have to learn the nuances of politics. And you have to learn somebody to carry you through the political maze. You can't come for somebody who have spent 20, 23 years, 26 years in parliament as a member of parliament, plus have been involved in politics, and then you're going to behave with a youthful exuberance and arrogance, and you can unseat this person. No. I'm saying there's certain seat that is going to be, where you call it, lamb to the slaughter. There's no way you're going to just unseat Peter Phillips like that. And the same thing with Patrick Roberts. No way you're going to unseat Andrew Holness. And there's several other seats around the place that you just can't come and say you're going to just unseat the person. There are politicians who are not functional, that people are tired, because they don't do anything for the constituency. Those are seats that you have to watch. You have to listen from the people.
You have two big seats in Clarendon that are battleground seats. Colonel Charles Jr. against what's your name again, Teddy? DK Duncan Dawson.
Oh gosh, Imani is downtown. Her name.
But that will be a big seat, a big fight. The other one is the seat that Colonel Charles.
Then I look pan, the tight seats.
Yeah, but
the seat that Colonel Charles had. It used to be a PNP seat. So I think PNP is going to be coming back to that.
No, but remember, it is Roddy Spencer who had that seat was automatically handed over to him. If you notice what have happened, because the party know that, and this is what they did. Remember, Pernell Jr. was a ministerial minister, is a minister of, right? No, when he was then being given the seat as become a member of parliament, because remember, he was a senator.
Yeah.
Right? Now he now become a full-fledged member of parliament. What they didn't know, they didn't continue to give him to say, because they could have even upgraded him now and give him the full ministerial position, but they didn't do that. Why?
Yeah.
What they did, they leave him out there for him to work, because they are aware that that seat is up for grab. So what they do, they leave him out there, make him concentrate and work the constituency, because it is not, he is not from the constituency. It was not his father's seat. You understand? It is Roddy Spencer's seat, because remember, they did not give him, his father is up for retirement, and the father wanted him to get his seat. And Morgan is getting the father's seat. So what they did now, they leave him out there to work the constituency.
Yeah.
To make sure Duncan Sutherland don't get that seat. So you have to understand this strategy is being employed by both political.
But she says she has been there for 6 years.
Yeah, she has been there for 6 years, but the question is that everybody was asking. You see, the PNP knew certain things. Number one, they didn't contest in the by-election because the resources wasn't there, and they know that it would be spending money and you're not getting anything. So, like they said, let her continue working. She did not put a threat to Roddy Lawson. But as you and I know, you can't take things for granted. You can't take things as face value. So you have to work. You have to work the constituency. So they left Pernell Charles Jr. to go and work the constituency. Right? There are some seats that a lot of people are now working at. J.C. Hutchison, despite the allegation against him, his seat is a bit safe. He now have time to spend in his constituency. All member of parliament right now are working their constituency, and don't take it for granted, because even the one with Terry Long and Raymond Price,
that'd be a good one to watch. That'd be a very good one to watch.
Yes, because remember, Raymond Price was a one-term member of parliament, and then now they threw him into a era because he's hop, skipping and jumping. Remember, he went in the constituency that Tweet had, and he was trying to get the blessing of the people there from the people, and Imani Duncan won it. So he been thrown somewhere else again. So when you have somebody that you're trying to fit into a lot of year, that person have to work hard. That person have to work hard. Once the party having you, flinging you all over the place, trying to fit you into a constituency, it means you have to work damn hard, because as far as they're concerned, they don't even know if you can win or you're a winnable candidate. So they're just trying to fit you in. No, they wouldn't do that with somebody who they are sure. You understand?
Yeah.
So you have to understand the dynamics and the politics of things. And some of the young people who are coming in have to be carried through this we call it minefield of politics. So do we hold some of the young persons like Mary, who are going up on her attitude against Peter Philip? What she need to do is to learn. Learn the thing, then work on the weaknesses of your opponent and deal with it. And so therefore you grow within the politics.
Okay, Teddy, on the grounds of debate, are there going to be any debates?
Yeah, they're going to be a debate tomorrow night, and the persons representing the debate tomorrow night, it is from the JLP side, it will be Nigel Clark. Hold on, tomorrow it will be Nigel Clark, Christopher Tufton, and the Senator Camilla Johnson Smith, who is the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. And so it's Christopher Tufton, Minister of Health, Honorable Floyd Green, Minister of State in the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fishery, and Camilla Smith Johnson, representing JLP. On the PNP side, it is Peter Bunting, Member of Parliament for Central Manchester, Dayton Campbell, Member of Parliament for St. Anne Northwest, and Crystal Thompson. She is a caretaker for the seat that Juliet Cuthbert have, which is West Rural St. Andrew. So those are the three. And what they will be debating on tomorrow is the social issues, and that starts at 9 a.m. until 10:30 p.m. So it's 1.5 hours. So I think that each person will be given 45 minutes.
Okay. And with that, we come to the end of our program for today as well. So we'll give a minute, Teddy, for wrap up.
No, we just want to hope that this election can carry about some changes and not the regular changes what we are talking. We are talking about policy and political changes, so Jamaica become a far better place to live, work, and raise your family.
Okay. Flavius?
Yeah, well, election to me is always good in most cases now, because at least like you're getting a new beginning. Regardless of who win, either the JLP win back, it won't be the same JLP. So anyway, look at it, we will get a new government. And that should be good for us, in that we can restart whatever we're doing, and we know what we weren't doing well. If the PNP come in, they're out there for a long time, so they should know what they want to do, what the country needs and all that. So the timing is a bit off. And I don't think a lot of thought went into it at all. But it is what it is. Like Teddy said, we have to make sure that this election works for us. Doesn't matter who win, have to put Jamaica first. That's it. That's the key thing. We need some people to come in and correct some of the ailments that we have. And one of the biggest ailments in Jamaica is this thing called poverty. We have to have people who we elect to look after us know that some of us are not living as we should. Our minimum standards are much too low. Much too low. We want somebody who can bring up the minimum standard that everybody is all right. And then who want to live the high life, sure, no problem. But we can have the high life people and the other people not living at all. So we have to first move up the bottom, moving up a few rungs of the ladder, so everybody can live a comfortable life. That's it from me.
Okay. And so tomorrow our guest will be Carlston Medford, who is a qualified NLP practitioner who works with clients by assisting them to resolve emotional issues. So tomorrow we'll be linking up with Carlston at 11:30 to 12 o'clock. We're going to extend the program a little bit longer tomorrow so we can have a good chat with Carlston. And with that, we close out. So Until then, we ask you to take care of yourself, your loved ones. Always remember, prayer do changes things regardless of what religion you belong to. You must pray and continue to pray. And this is Franco along with
Flavius and Flavius is saying the discipline. We are hearing that COVID is running rampant in Jamaica, mainly because of us not being disciplined and respectful. So we need to look at that seriously.
and Teddy, wishing you a pleasant day, afternoon, evening, whatever time zone you're in. Tafina.
Well,
Go on, Teddy. Go on.
the time zone is in we're in a stormy weather, so.
True.
But let us see what all the day work out.
True.
All right, take care now, and
Yeah.
as I said, for listening, continue listening.
Yeah, definitely. And remember to subscribe and like and share it as well. Tafina to take us out.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
All you gotta do is just speak. One word is enough, and I'm no longer so rough. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know what set me if it could flee. Me I fi take away myself. Me I fi take away myself. Me I fi hide like a thief in the night. Me I fi get out of sight. Me I fi take away myself. I fi take away myself. I have to utilize I wings. Show the eye clean eyes. I said, yeah. I find you very hard to resist. But this relationship I'm gonna desist. But how can I face you when all I wanna do is just taste you? I know you think I play me, I play. But soon you're gonna see the light of day. Just relax, don't move an inch. I'll be gone in a pinch. May I feel take away myself. May I feel take away myself. May I feel hide like a thief in the night. May I forget out of sight. May I feel take away myself. Take away myself. I have to utilize I will. Show the eye a clean berries. I say, yeah.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
Been there, done that, don't need it again, yeah. I'm not a masochist who won't play your game, yeah. To all you move, you off me way to the core. Sayonara, the hot girl gone through the door. Take away ourselves. Ah,
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.